The rain pounded against the windshield as Michael Carter pulled into his driveway, the wipers struggling to keep up with the October deluge that had been soaking the town for hours. Through the haze of water and shadows, he spotted something that made him hesitate, hand on the door handle. Across the street, beneath a faltering street lamp, a woman and a young boy stood in the downpour beside a heap of belongings, their forms shivering in the storm's grip. The woman was attempting to shield the boy with a drenched coat, but it was a futile fight against the elements. Michael lingered for a moment, watching the scene unfold, knowing the choice he made in the next few minutes would alter everything. Michael Carter had grown accustomed to the sound of water dripping from leaky faucets at 2 a.m. What he cherished most was the routine of his job and the stability it offered his 11-year-old daughter, Lily. Their modest rental home on Cedar Lane wasn't much to look at, but the rent was affordable, and it was a short walk to Roosevelt Primary, where Lily attended a specialized program that had been a lifeline for her reading challenges. That Monday evening, Michael had spent the day repairing a faulty boiler in the heart of town. As he navigated the fierce storm, he thought about Lily's upcoming parent-teacher conference on Thursday. The familiar sight of his street usually brought calm. But tonight something was off. A large moving van was parked crookedly across from his house, its hazard lights pulsing faintly in the rain. What he saw tightened his chest with anger and disbelief. A burly man in a raincoat was yelling at a woman and boy, gesturing sharply toward a growing pile of furniture, thoroughly soaked by the storm. The woman seemed to be begging, her hands clasped in a desperate plea. The boy, no older than 6 or 7, clung to his mother's side, both of them drenched to the core. Michael had witnessed evictions before, but there was something especially harsh about casting a family out in such weather. The woman tried once more to reason with the man, likely asking for one more night until the storm passed, but he shook his head and pointed to the street. That's when Michael saw the boy stumble, nearly falling, only saved by his mother's quick grip. The child was shaking, so hard Michael could see it from across the road. And that's when his decision crystallized. Stepping into the storm, Michael crossed the street toward the scene. The man in the raincoat noticed him approaching and paused. "Everything okay here?" Michael called out, raising his voice over the storm's roar. The man turned with a tired expression. "Private property issue. Nothing for you to worry about, neighbor." But Michael was already focused on the woman and boy, taking in their soaked clothes, the boy's pale face, and the fear in their eyes. The woman, likely in her late 30s, had light hair plastered to her face, her expression one of raw desperation. "Ma'am," Michael said, addressing her directly, "you and your son need to get out of this rain. My place is right across the street. You're welcome to stay there until the storm passes." The woman looked at him stunned, as if kindness from a stranger was unthinkable. "We couldn't impose," she began, but her voice was drowned by a gust of wind. "It's no imposition," Michael said firmly, then turned to the man in the raincoat. "You've made your point. Give them a few minutes to grab what they can carry and find shelter for the night." The man's face tightened. "This is a legal eviction, duly served. And I've got a conscience and a dry house," Michael shot back. "This storm won't last forever, but hypothermia can kill a kid in under an hour." Something in Michael's tone made the man relent. "5 minutes," he muttered, turning away. "Then I'm done here." Within minutes, they'd gathered what they could carry and hurried across the street to Michael's house. As they reached the door, the man in the raincoat drove off, leaving their remaining belongings to the storm's mercy. "Towels are in the bathroom down the hall," Michael said, flicking on lights. "I'll make some tea and see if we've got cocoa." The woman stood dripping in his entryway, looking around as if she couldn't believe where she was. "I'm Laura," she said softly. "This is my son, Noah. I don't know how to thank you." "I'm Michael," he replied. "No need to thank me. No one should be out in this weather, especially not with a kid." Noah, silent until now, spoke up. "Is this your house?" "Sure is," Michael said, smiling. "I live here with my daughter, Lily, but she's at school for extra reading help. She'll be back in about an hour." As Laura and Noah went to dry off, Michael wondered what he'd gotten himself into. The practical move would be to help them find a motel, but something about Laura's fear hinted at more than just a missed rent payment. There was a deeper terror in her eyes. When they returned, looking more human despite their damp clothes, Michael offered hot drinks. Noah wandered to the bookshelf while Laura sat, still tense. "The storm should clear by morning," Michael said. "We can figure out next steps then." Laura nodded, but her shoulders stayed rigid. We were supposed to stay with Noah's dad, but that fell through. There was a story there, but Michael didn't press. Sometimes the best help was a safe space, no questions asked. When Lily came home from tutoring, she greeted the newcomers with a shy nod and started showing Noah her favorite books. Michael watched the kids connect, noticing Laura relax as her son found a friend. Over the next hour, they talked easily. Laura shared she'd been a kindergarten teacher, but was between jobs. Lily convinced Noah to start a puzzle, and the kids sprawled on the floor, lost in it. "They're good kids," Michael said. "Noah's had a tough time lately," Laura replied quietly. "It's nice to see him acting like a normal 6-year-old. What Michael didn't expect was Noah asking for the bathroom and Laura giving directions that were oddly precise for someone new to the house. It was a small thing, but it sparked curiosity that grew over the night. The first sign this wasn't a one-night stay came at breakfast. Michael was brewing tea, looking at the scattered remains of Laura and Noah's belongings across the street when Laura appeared, wearing one of his old sweaters over her dress. "Hope you don't mind," she said, gesturing to the sweater. "Not at all. How do you sleep?" "Better than I have in months." "Noah's still out." They stood, gazing at the storm's aftermath. "Where were you headed before this happened?" Michael asked casually. Laura paused a fraction too long. "I was hoping to find a short-term rental, something temporary, until I get back on my feet." It sounded plausible, but Michael recognized the careful truth of someone in crisis. After Lily left for school, Michael prepared for work. "You're welcome to stay here today. There's TV, and Noah seems to like the books." "Are you sure?" Laura asked. "I don't want to overstay." "You're not. But one question. Are you and Noah safe here? Is anyone looking for you who might cause trouble?" Laura hesitated. "I don't think so, but I can't be certain." Michael shared his routine, gave Laura his contact info, and pointed out safety measures. "If anything feels off, trust your gut." He left for work with an odd sense his life was about to shift. The job was a tricky repair that kept him busy, but his mind stayed on Cedar Lane. 3 hours in, his phone rang. Laura's voice was taut. "Michael, there's a problem. A man's been sitting in a gray SUV across the street for an hour, just watching the house. Can you see him clearly?" "Not really, but he's not from around here. He hasn't moved or talked to anyone. Just sitting there. Take Noah to the back of the house, away from windows, and call Mrs. Jenkins." "I'm calling the police and coming home." The SUV was gone when Michael arrived, but Mrs. Jenkins' car in his driveway confirmed Laura had followed instructions. "He left 10 minutes after I called," Laura said. "But he walked around the house first, like he was checking exits." Mrs. Jenkins, a 30-year neighbor, looked worried. "I know everyone around here." That man was a stranger. Michael realized Laura's danger was real. Someone was hunting her. "I think Noah and I should go," Laura said quietly. "I didn't mean to bring trouble." "Where would you go?" Michael asked. Her silence spoke volumes. "You're staying until we figure this out." The truth surfaced that evening by chance. While Laura helped Noah with homework and Michael fixed a shelf, Gus scattered papers from Laura's bag. As he gathered them, Michael saw a bank statement with a name that chilled him. Laura Elizabeth Hawthorne. Hawthorne, the same as his elusive landlord. His hands trembled as he handed the papers back. Laura caught his expression and paled. "We need to talk," Michael said quietly. On the back porch, he cut to the chase. "Hawthorne, as in Victor Hawthorne, who owns this house?" Laura leaned against the railing, eyes closed. "He's my father." Everything Michael thought he knew unraveled. "Your father is Victor Hawthorne, the property tycoon who owns half the rentals in this town, including this one. I recognized the address when you brought us here," Laura admitted. "I didn't know how to tell you. I'm running from him and from James Carver, the man he wants me to marry." James Carver's name hit hard. Michael knew him from local news, a powerful contractor and town council member. "What? What's your father's angle?" Laura was silent for a moment. "Control. After my sister died, I became the sole heir to the Hawthorne estate. But my grandfather's will has clauses about family stability and suitable marriages. If I marry James, my father keeps control through him. If I don't, and something happens to me, Noah inherits, with my father as his guardian until he's 25. Michael didn't need details about James's actions. Laura's fear said enough. The man watching today, probably one of James's guys, My father's subtle, but James doesn't care about subtlety. She continued. Your rent, the reason it's so low? My father doesn't do favors. He's been watching you, your job, Lily's school records, your finances. Michael felt a chill. Why? Because loyal tenants are useful pawns. He's been grooming you for years. The realization hit hard. His stable life was a carefully crafted illusion. He'll use that against us now, Michael said. Laura nodded. He'll call soon, offering deals to turn us over or threatening eviction if you don't. Michael thought of Lily, her school program, and their affordable home. What if I turned you over? James would take us back, probably to some isolated place where I couldn't escape. Noah would grow up watching his mother break, and when he's older, he'd be James's next target. There's one more thing, Laura said. I have evidence, documents, recordings, financial records, proving what my father and James have done. Blackmail, illegal evictions, assaults James covered up. Why not go to the police? Because my father owns half the department. But there's a federal probe into town corruption. If I can get the evidence to them, it could end this. I just need time and a safe place. Michael saw she wasn't asking him to choose between their families, but offering a chance to fight for something bigger. How long? A week, maybe 2. Michael weighed the risks, thinking of Lily, Noah's laughter, and the man he wanted to be. Okay, we'll make it work. The call came as predicted. While Michael read Lily a bedtime story, Noah listening to tales of daring explorers. His phone buzzed with an unknown number. Michael Carter, a polished voice said. This is Michael. This is Victor Hawthorne. I believe you're sheltering my daughter and grandson. I'm calling to discuss their return. The casual tone made Michael's skin crawl. They're not objects to be returned. Let me explain your situation, Michael. You're a good man providing for your daughter. You rent a fine house well below market rate, which lets you afford Lily's excellent school program. Your lease is up for renewal soon. Michael felt the trap tighten. I could evict you, Hawthorne continued, forcing you to find new housing, which would be tough on your income. Lily would lose her school, her friends, her program. Or, Michael prompted, or you could be cooperative. Convince Laura to return. I'd extend your lease, maybe even offer to sell you the house at a fair price. And if Laura doesn't want to come back, then you're aiding a thief. Laura took sensitive documents. That's a crime, and helping her makes you an accomplice. Anger surged. What documents? Focus on Lily's future. She's a bright girl. It'd be a shame if her education suffered because of your choices. Don't threaten my daughter. I'm just outlining consequences. You have until tomorrow night to decide. When Michael returned to the bedroom, Laura read his face instantly. Later, at the kitchen table, she said, he's right about one thing. Lily would suffer if you lose this house. Are you saying I should turn you over? I'm saying Noah and I could leave tonight so you don't have to choose. Michael looked at her, ready to risk everything to protect him and Lily. Where would you go? I don't know. A shelter, maybe another family willing to help. You got one. We're finishing this, Laura. Over the next hour, Laura showed him her evidence. Records of bribes, recordings of eviction schemes, photos of James's assaults. It's enough to lock them up for years, if it reaches the right people. They were planning when footsteps crunched outside. Michael killed the kitchen light and peered out. 3 men were circling the house, checking doors and windows with precision. Get Noah? Michael whispered. We're leaving. They slipped out the back, moving through neighbors' yards to Michael's truck. As they drove off, headlights off, Michael saw flashlights inside his house. In the rearview mirror, Noah clung to Laura, and Michael knew his old life was gone. The safe house was Mrs. Jenkins' brother's cabin in the hills, reachable only by a winding dirt road. While Noah explored with curiosity, Michael and Laura planned. I need to go back, Laura said. The evidence is in a safe deposit box downtown. That's what they'll expect. Then we'll outsmart them. Their plan was bold. Michael would confront Hawthorne in his office, demanding a meeting, while Laura retrieved the evidence. It hinged on Hawthorne's arrogance. At 2 o'clock, Michael strode into Hawthorne Enterprises, dressed sharply with a clipboard, banking on people's reluctance to question confidence. 3 blocks away, Laura entered Central Bank during a shift change. Noah was safe with Mrs. Jenkins at the community center, surrounded by people. I'm here to see Mr. Hawthorne, Michael told the receptionist. Tell him Michael Carter is here about his daughter. Her smile faltered. Do you have an appointment? He'll want to see me. Victor Hawthorne's office was imposing, polished wood, costly art, sweeping town views. The man himself was older, maybe 70, with gray hair and a tailored suit, but his eyes were sharp. Michael Carter, he said, not rising. The noble mechanic who thinks he can save my daughter. I'm the man who'll stop you from ruining your family, Michael replied. Hawthorne smirked. You're out of your depth. Laura's troubled, and I'm trying to save her from herself. By forcing her to marry a man who hurts her? By threatening to take her son? By protecting my family's legacy, something you'd understand as a single father? The threat was clear. Leave Lily out of this. She's already involved thanks to you. Be reasonable, or we'll explore other options. Michael showed a photo Laura had taken of documents. Here's my deal. Call off your men, leave Laura and Noah alone, and forget my name. Or these documents go to federal investigators. Hawthorne's grip tightened. Laura's spinning tales about evidence. These are bank records, recordings, photos that'll put you and James Carver away, Michael said, showing another image. Hawthorne faltered. Where do you get those? Laura's already contacted the federal task force on town corruption. In 2 hours, they'll have everything, plus her testimony. It was a bluff, but believable. Hawthorne's confidence wavered. Even if such evidence exists, I have allies in government. Maybe, but one honest agent could end you. Hawthorne stared out at the town he dominated. Evidence can be discredited. Witnesses silenced. Systems are people, and people can be swayed. Maybe, but Laura's not alone, and others have the evidence. Can you silence everyone? What's your proposal? Laura and Noah vanish. New identities, new place, total freedom. The evidence stays buried. And your guarantee it won't resurface? My word, and the fact that exposing you gains us nothing if we're safe. Hawthorne considered, then hardened. You think I care more about avoiding jail than controlling my legacy? Michael's stomach dropped. You'd risk prison to keep Laura trapped? I'd risk it to keep my family's power. Emma will learn her place in a strong family. Laura's compliance matters more than her choice. They'd hit a wall. Then we're done, Michael said. We're done when I say, Hawthorne replied as 2 burly men entered. My associates will take you somewhere private to continue this. Michael remembered Laura's words about Hawthorne's arrogance. Before they touch me, he said loudly, this conversation is being recorded and streamed to people who'd love to hear it. A lie, but delivered with certainty. You're bluffing, Emma. Laura learned surveillance from documenting your crimes. Did you think we'd walk in without a plan? Doubt crept into Hawthorne's eyes. Even if true, you're in my building with my people. This was never about me getting out. It was about giving Laura time. Michael showed a text. Package delivered. Mission complete. Hawthorne froze. What package? Every document, recording, and photo Laura collected, sent to the federal task force with her testimony and witness contacts. Silence. You're lying. Call the FBI field office. Ask for Agent Sarah Thompson about the Hawthorne investigation. Michael gambled on a name Laura mentioned. Hawthorne hesitated. Even if you send evidence, investigations take years. You're still vulnerable. Maybe, but harming witnesses strengthens their case. What do you want? Laura and Noah's freedom. No contact from you or James. And I get nothing. The evidence is out. Honor the deal, and Laura won't push the prosecution. Hawthorne slumped, looking his age. Get out, he said. Michael left, heart pounding, hoping they'd won. 3 months later, in a small house 3 states away, Michael made waffles while Lily and Noah bickered over toppings. The rented home, filled with thrift finds and new buys, felt like theirs. The federal probe moved fast. Within weeks, Victor Hawthorne and James Carver were arrested for bribery, extortion, and more. News called it a historic corruption case. Laura testified under witness protection, her identity safe. The case was airtight, with plea deals from minor players bolstering it. Lily thrived in their new school's special education program, making friends and progressing. Noah blossomed, his laughter free, his bond with Lily a daily reminder of why Michael acted. Laura, healing from years of fear, started tutoring, her confidence growing. They discussed their feelings cautiously, prioritizing the kids' adjustment. Michael worked for a local repair shop, his skills valued, no questions asked. For the first time, he was building, not surviving. "Dad," Lily said, "Noah wants to know if we can hit the park after breakfast." Michael glanced at Laura, relaxed with tea and a paper. "What do you think?" "Sounds great," she smiled. "But only if you finish your waffles." Watching the kids plan their park trip, Michael felt a deep peace. The news mentioned Hawthorne's latest court loss, but Michael felt only relief. Challenges remained: Laura's trauma, the kids' adjustments, Michael's own struggle to trust in safety. But flipping waffles, hearing his family plan an ordinary day, he felt contentment. Laura squeezed his shoulder, a silent promise of what might come. "Ready for another adventure?" she asked, her voice warm with hope. "Always," Michael replied, grabbing his jacket. "With you and these kids, I'm ready for anything." They stepped into autumn light, a family forged by choice, heading to a park where kids could play and adults could hope. The story that began with a stranger's kindness in a storm had become a testament to ordinary people standing against power, building new lives from old fears. Walking to the park, Michael knew heroes weren't superhuman, just people who helped when it mattered, stood up when it was hard, and protected the vulnerable at great cost. The rain was gone, the sun was out, and their new day brimmed with simple joys.